Hi, my name is Michael Bratun and I'm one of the instructors in the Worship Arts and Media program of Life Pacific. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for rhythm electric guitar. Tip number 1 for a rhythm electric guitar, remember that you're not carrying the entire rhythm. Typically in contemporary worship music, it's either an acoustic guitar or a keyboard or a different instrument that's carrying the multitude of the rhythms throughout the entirety of the song. So remember that as a rhythm guitar player, you're filling the spots, you're filling those holes, you're not carrying the entirety of the song. If you're switching from acoustic to electric, you're not going to be able to play the electric the same way that you play acoustic. You're going to have to use different techniques. You're going to have to know the instrument and know your role as the rhythm electric guitar player is to support whatever the main instrument that's carrying the song is. Tip number 2 is to know your rig, to know what you're working with, to know what your guitar can handle, what your amp can handle, and what effects you've got going on, of what's going to work and what's not going to work, of knowing which pedals are going to do something. Just because you have a delay pedal doesn't mean you're going to understand exactly how to make that work to its fullest. So knowing your tone and knowing your effects is crucial to being able to play with the team and being able to be the most effective rhythm electric guitar player you could possibly be. Knowing what your rig can do is crucial because you have to know exactly what each pedal can do and how to use it, so that you are not doing something that's going to be a distraction to the rest of the team as you're going through the worship set. You want to make sure that you're blending with the rest of the team and that you're using certain effects at certain times so that you're not using everything all the time. Tip number 3 is to know alternate voicings and inversions for chords so that you're not playing the same thing as every other guitar player. Part of what makes all the big worship teams and good worship teams sound amazing is that they have multiple guitar players playing multiple different phrasings. So if you're playing in capoed on 3 in B flat, but you're playing a G formation, then someone's playing an open B flat and someone else is playing capoed on 1 in an A formation, so that you've got multiple different voicings that you're complementing each other, that you're complementing what the keyboards are doing, you're complementing what the acoustic guitars are doing, and you're working together as a team so that not everyone's playing the exact same chord in the exact same way. Tip number 4, one of the most crucial things that you've got to remember is to know when not to play. Too often, worship musicians, we get super excited about a certain part that we're doing or different effects that we're doing, or we just get excited that we get to play and worship the Lord, that we play the entire time. It's really important to know when not to play. Part of what makes worship teams sound as good as they do is because there's multiple instruments knowing when to play and when not to play. There's certain parts that you sit out, there's certain parts that you play a lot, there's certain parts you play little bits. For rhythm electric, it's also super important to not play a full chord unless you have to use partial chords, to use partial notes, to only hit a couple of the strings, because once you hit a full 6-string chord, you've got no other dynamic to do. You have already hit the peak of what an electric guitar can handle. And less is always, always more. That takes us to our final tip, tip number 5, is to come prepared. The practice time with the full band is not your personal practice time. You need to have practiced everything ahead of time, learned multiple parts, come with extra ideas, and then come ready to use those ideas, but you come prepared. You know your parts, you know the counting of the songs, you know the tempos, you know when to come in, when to sit out, and you've already thought through the entirety of the worship set so that you're able to work with the team because you are part of the whole team that's going to make this wonderful sound to the Lord. But you've got to make sure that you come prepared and you come ready to play as a full band. Today we're going to be applying these tips for rhythm electric guitar to Unstoppable God by Elevation Worship.
1, 2, 3, 4. Intro. Verse. Verse. Bridge.